Is hairstyling the career for you? If you're someone who is interested in the beauty career, cosmetology, or maybe you're even thinking about going to beauty school, this video is for you. My name is Mandara Kesa, and I help new hairstylists bridge the gap between getting licensed to creating the hairstylist journey life that they enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. I feel so special. So I wrote down a series of notes down here if you guys see me looking down on my phone. Okay, so when you're considering if hairstyling is the right career for you, there's a couple things to consider. So basically I broke this down in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I basically broke it down to the top 8 questions that you have to ask yourself. So the first biggest question that you want to ask yourself when you're considering if hairstyling is the right career for you would be cost. Are you willing to invest upwards towards $20,000 in cosmetology school education? So if you go for a private cosmetology school, like a school that I went to, it was about a $20,000 to $22,000 investment. So that's definitely the first thing that you want to think about, is the cost that is associated with beauty school. Now, a lot is included within that $20K. So that includes your full beauty kit. Which includes scissors, high-end scissors. You get combs, clips. My school gave us 5 mannequins. The biggest thing that you need to consider is if you are willing to invest upwards towards $20,000 in cosmetology school education. It really just all depends on you, like what you think, if you're willing to take out loans or if you have any savings. Me personally, the way that I funded my education was I put down a certain amount of money. I saved up a little bit of money before I started beauty school, put down a little bit of money, and then I financed the rest through student loans. There's nothing wrong with taking out a loan, like everybody does it. So anyway, so the next question that you want to ask yourself is career settings. Can you see yourself working in a salon? Can you see yourself as an independent stylist working in a salon suite? Can you see yourself working at home, being a traveling hairstylist, a traveling bridal stylist, being an event stylist? So as a hairstylist, you're going to have the opportunity to work in a salon, or if you can travel or work at home. So the next question you want to ask yourself is, what is your personality like? Are you talkative? Are you a people person? Are you able to strike up conversation quite easily? Are you more shy, timid, reserved? Are you an introvert or an extrovert? These are all really, really important points to consider, because as a hairstylist, you're communicating with people all day long. So you definitely want to think about if you are able to withstand can your social battery take large amounts of your time? Oh, and I also wrote down here, do you have a good poker face? Because sometimes clients will challenge you. You just have to learn how to be professional, learn how to have an independent work ethic, and learn how to have a poker face. The next question I have here is, are you willing to commit to 9 months of full-time schooling that is 35 plus to 40 hours per week, followed by the State Board of Cosmetology exam? So basically, when you go to beauty school, if you go full-time like I did, it is between 35 to 40 hours per week, every single week for 9 months. So basically, that is the equivalent of a full-time job. This is something huge and very, very important to consider if you have a family, if you have children. Personally, I don't have children, so that wasn't a factor for me. But those of you that do have children, that's definitely something to consider. Maybe consider waiting until you save money to be able to take 9 months off of work, or maybe you can consider working at night. Some of my classmates were working overnight. A lot of them were single moms, which I totally applaud them for that. I have so much respect for them. And a lot of them worked part-time jobs or full-time jobs at night, and they went to school during the day. Now check with your local Cosmo school to see their hours, because some cosmetology programs actually will allow you to go to school part-time or go to school at night. This way you can keep your full-time job, you can still continue to support your family, and then you can still benefit from working towards your license. So that's another thing to consider. Another thing to consider would be the State Board of Cosmetology exam. So a lot of people think that beauty school is really just like you go to school, you play with hair, and then at the end of the 9 months, okay, my cat is literally in the Christmas tree and I will deal with her after this video. After you finish your hours of completion, in the state of Pennsylvania, it's $1,250. I believe in New Jersey, it's $1,200. You can check with your state website to see how many hours of instruction you're needed. After you finish your hours of completion, at the end of it, you're gonna take what's called a State Board of Cosmetology exam. So that's basically how the cosmetology state board test goes. In the state of Pennsylvania, we don't have the practical portion after COVID finished. Prior to COVID, we did have to do a practical portion, which is basically you're showing them like different hairstyles on a mannequin, or you hire like a model, which your model could be like your family or your friends. It doesn't have to be like a real model, like just get a mannequin. But yeah, if you're living in Pennsylvania or New Jersey, you don't have to worry about that. I'm pretty sure the rest of the world doesn't have a practical portion, but check with your state board. Don't take my word, check with the board. So the next question you want to ask yourself is, are you willing to work in a physically demanding career? So beauty is so much fun. Doing hairstyling is so much fun. But things to consider, it is a very physically demanding and a very physically taxing job. This is something that I learned in beauty school because I am tall, okay? I'm 5'10", I'm very lanky, I'm tall and lanky. The reason why I'm saying this is because in the salon, like this is something that people probably don't think a lot about, but in a salon, if you're tall, the position that you're bent in is like your back is basically bent in half. So think of this as you standing, and if you're like super tall like me, you bending is like this. So like your back is like kind of curled over like a U, and you're kind of like hunched over in the bowl. So these are things to consider. Like, are you good at like managing going to the gym? Are you good with stretching every single morning? Are you good with taking care of your body? Do you have a chiropractor? If not, are you good at giving yourself massages? Are you good at prioritizing your self-care? Things like that. So you want to think about if you are able to stand your entire shift, if you're able to meet the physical requirements as a stylist. Are you willing to flick your wrist all day? Because you're going to be flicking your wrist, blow drying some hair, especially if they come in with some super long hair extensions. And then you go in the back and cry because you're like, I don't. It's a physically demanding career, but I would say it's super, 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 super rewarding. So the next question I have here is, are you willing to put in the time or years in order to build your clientele? So me being a new hairstylist, I've been doing hair. If you hear crunching in the background, that's my cat Cupcake, and he is like crunching so loud. So I've been building my clientele for honestly not really that long. It's been under a year. And it's been going good. It's been going really, really good. I graduated a little under 2 years ago, but I was teaching first. But you want to ask yourself, are you willing to build your clientele? Because building a clientele does take time. Just give yourself time. Try not to judge yourself too hard on it. Try not to like be too hard on yourself. Like if you feel like everyone else is building a clientele and it's not really happening for you, you're new. So that's okay. Let yourself be new. You need to consider if you're the type of person who is patient and who is willing to put in the work that is associated and required of you to build a clientele. The next question is, are you willing to accept the highs and lows of hairstyling? Meaning dry seasons, or possibly holding a part-time job or running sales during that time period. So as a hairstylist, you can make a lot of money. Once you're booked and busy, you will be making the money, you will be turning over the clients, you will be recouping all of the money that you put in is very, very possible for you. And that is absolutely 100% the goal that you want to shoot for. Is it going to happen super fast? Probably not, but that's okay. You just have to ask yourself if you are willing to, during a dry season, if you're willing to run promotions, are you willing to run sales? Or if you have to, if you have mouths to feed, like if you are living on your own, or if this is your only source of income, are you willing to get an additional source of income? Me personally, since I'm a new hairstylist, I have 2 jobs. I work in a salon part-time, and I also work as a waitress part-time. Me personally, I will not let go of that waitressing job because I know that this is my steady form of income. If you're someone who's working in corporate, or if you're also a waitress, or maybe you're in the middle of transitioning careers, when it comes to hairstyling, you need to wait until you build a steady flowing clientele, see the results of that steady flowing income for years consecutively, and then you can slowly start to work less days at this job and slowly start to convert over to fully being a salon professional. But I do not recommend going straight into a salon without another source of income, because being a new person, you are building your clientele from the ground up. And I would, if you can afford it, by all means do it. But if you're like me and you have bills and you have a lot of stuff to pay for, you're paying for student loans, you're paying for this, car payment, this and that and this and that, rent, mortgage, children, even if you have children, definitely want to make sure you ask yourself if you're willing to go through those slow periods. The last question you want to ask yourself is, are you ready for one of the most fulfilling and rewarding jobs that you could ever have? Hairstyling and working in a salon has changed my life. I honestly have never imagined like doing what I love and getting paid for it. Like in my brain, it like honestly doesn't make sense. It sounds crazy, but I love doing hair. I love making women feel good about themselves. I love styling hair. I love washing hair. I love blow drying hair. I love everything that has to do with just making people feel good about themselves. So the last question to ask yourself would be if you are willing to enter one of the most rewarding careers that you could ever imagine. Doing hair is so fun. Yes, it's taxing on your body. Yes, we go through slow seasons sometimes. We go through busy seasons. Like right now is our busy season because it's Christmas in a couple weeks, and then New Year's the week after that. So we go through some highs and we go through some lows, but really that's with any career. So you just gotta think to yourself, are you willing to put the time in? Are you willing to just invest the money, the time, the effort, the energy? Trust me, if you say yes to all of those things, then yes, hairstyling is the career for you. If you're interested in this video, thank you so much for making it all the way to the end. You might want to stay tuned for next week's video where we discuss how to find the right cosmetology program for you.